Welcome back everybody to the week number 8 here in the August 8th in Korea, and today's analysis will be joined by Subin Yoon, B3 and Pon. And this is season with the translation, and this was the game 1 after SANDBOX Gaming versus DRX. And now I think we are seeing more and more different picks coming out on the bottom lane. So Caitlyn was looking for some of the engaged partners on the side of SANDBOX Gaming. However, DRX managed to neutralize his presence. And Doran went for a very aggressive champion here, Aurelia. And Doran really did manage to pull up a really good show up against Jace overall. So Ashe and Caitlyn were both one of the top tier ADCs here in the LCK meta, and DRX managed to show a better macro with their lane phase. Then let's take a look how DRX managed to accelerate their gap between Ashe and Caitlyn. So we finally saw something that we all have been waiting for, the lane freeze and lane manipulation. Caitlyn had cleanse instead of TP, however Ashe had TP, so Caitlyn had to base at that timing. However, Gorilla was trying to stop DRX bottom duos from going for a lane wave freeze. However, he got queued, so he had to back together with Caitlyn. So Daft was really meticulous with taking down these minions and controlling this minion wave. So he was able to stack up and accelerate his XP differential between Caitlyn. So Caitlyn also went for the Vampire Spectre because of the very hard lane power coming out from Ashe and Morgana, so his item build was not going as well as he planned. So at the end of this laning phase, there was a very huge gap between Caitlyn and Ashe in terms of XP. So the level 6 timing between Ashe and Caitlyn was so different. Speaking of the level 6 timing, let's take a look at this Dragon fight where the Ashe's ultimate came in clutch for this fight. So Ashe was the only one dinging level 6 on the bottom lane. So before this ultimate, actually Pyosik was also able to use his W onto Lee Sin, so he did not have any vision for this upcoming Ashe ultimate. So they picked up the dragon and also picked up a kill onto Lee Sin. DRX winning this game was not all about their lane phase, lane priority, more about their smart and intelligent setup starting from the laning phase. Now it's time to take a look at the player of the game on the side of DRX. This is Stefan Ashe picking up the POG for the 5th time of the split. He got cut out in the middle of the game on the mid lane, so Pon was a little bit not sure whether he should vote for Daft or not, but still he voted for Daft in the end. Well, to be honest, DRX was not that clean to close out this game. However, Daft was the main character that kept setting up plays to make DRX have the momentum to close out the game. This game came down to the performance of the AD carries, and Caitlyn was the one being in the rough spot, and Ashe was the main character and the proactive role that kept and led all the DRX players behind him. Ashe picked up 7 votes out of 12. And also with Deft's smart item build, he was not letting Caitlyn to close up the damage differential between Caitlyn and Ashe. So that was DRX versus SANDBOX Gaming game number 1. Now let's move on to game number 2 and check out whether SANDBOX can keep their playoffs hopes alive.
Thank you so much, G-Sun, for your analyst desk translation. Absolutely fantastic to have that breakdown of the freeze there as Def sort of stacks up the minion wave and denies Caitlyn absolutely everything. certainly led to a lot here as Deft. He doesn't look like a man that just won a POG. He looks like a man that wants to get Game 2 over and done with so he can get home and continue slaughtering solo queue. Because, they have that homework that's back up again. You know, CVMAX does like to do this. And since he gave them that homework, certainly things have gotten better. As Root having something.
He had some kind of blue, you know, blue drink.
Blue drink?
Yeah, it's weird because with blue and purple, it's kind of hard. Well, with purple, you can kind of say grape, right? But with blue, it's like there's blueberry, but a lot of the times it's like the artificial blue flavor that
I know.
That's
Blue
different.
Heaven milkshake. Like, what is that flavor?
It's different from blueberry taste, so it's just blue taste. That's the only way I know how to describe it. So I hope that's what his drink tastes like because it looked great.
I only really know blue Powerade, and I just couldn't tell you what that tastes like. It just tastes like blue Powerade. As DRX now, they're going to be on the blue side, certainly a more winning side just in general here in the LCK. That is no exception here for DRX, who have won, 5 extra games when it comes to blue side. Going to be banning away the Kalista first, as Nidalee going to be taken away from Kyoshik. And I just want to see SANDBOX leave the Caitlyn open because I want to watch Deft play it. It's a selfish thing, but it's just what I want.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're SANDBOX, you just got to ban it away. There's so much value for the Caitlyn in the series for DRX, right? Root showed that, I mean, Kate was not great. It wasn't so much about the champion, though. It was more about his positioning in that game and going up against one of the best bottom lanes in the world currently. As DRX, they're not going to ban Caitlyn. They're just going to wait. Let's see what they do ban here, though.
Yep, 5 seconds to go. Few choices. Volibear's still up, but Sona is going to be taken away. And unfortunately, I think we can see a likely Volibear priority when it comes to the first pick if SANDBOX don't ban it away here. I think they'd have to, though. As DRX really don't want to deal with the Sona Lux. They're just not into it. They want to just go standard laning, and the Karma is going to be taken away. So maybe trading Volibear for Caitlyn.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the idea. Take another strong pick away, but if they left the Karma and they went for a throwaway ban, they could have baited out the Volibear first pick and then taken Karma something else.
Karma
Caitlyn, obviously, yeah. That would be available here, so they're going to go Caitlyn, you would imagine. But
they might pick Caitlyn Morgana. They could do that to, stop DRX from just picking, Ashe Morgana on this second round of picks, which I assume they're probably going to, because if it ain't broke, generally don't fix it.
The Azir priority here is very strange to me. Chovy didn't really do anything in game 1. He missed every single Emperor's Divide.
He did.
He did not engage a single fight. You don't have to take Azir away from him. I don't care that he's 9-0. Doesn't look like he's on his Azir game today. And Fate has only played 2 games of Azir. He's not an Azir player himself. So why are you prioritizing it so much when there are so many other great picks still available? You got Bard that's still available if you want to go for that bottom lane again. If you don't want to, you want to put Gorilla on something else, you can go for a multitude of other picks that could have been better than the Azir in that situation. As I think we're just going to see the mirrored bot lane here from DRX.
Flex pick, remember, as this is Chovy. Does like the Morgana in the mid lane, also does lane relatively well into the Azir. He tries to, shift some sand around you. You just press an E button on yourself and walk away, casually. As Soraka, that would be the ultra we want to actually win this lane combo. As Onflake thinking about putting on his Graves shoes. The powerhouse that is Graves, priority picked. It's going to be into the Volibear, most likely this game. But this Graves priority skyrocketing like this is amusing.
It is amusing. I think that's a good way to put it. And we're seeing it a lot against other junglers that...
I mean, Malrong won a game on it, won a match on it for the first time in 2 years, I think, yesterday.
That's true.
So,
or Malrong.
That's got to mean that it's broken, right?
Yeah, perhaps. But I'm trying to figure out why exactly it's coming back into the LCK meta. We have so many Olafs that are coming out here, Volibears that are coming out here. I think those are the top 2 that we see nowadays, alongside of Trundle, who Graves has always been pretty good into, and I guess Lee Sin would be another one. And so players are just saying, okay, well, let's try to bring it back here. Seems to be okay into the Volibear, especially as that is the highest priority jungle right now. And so it's slowly making its way back into the meta to go up against some of those other farming jungles.
Camille available at this point in time could be something that Summit looks at if he doesn't just want to R4 Renekton, which is, look, it's on the table. Whether or not it's actually going to be a thing, we'll have to find out. 6 seconds to go. It could just be a support, unless they're trying to hide it. But they don't really need to, as that's going to be a Lulu. So a little bit more lane control on the bottom side. Assuming top Lulu is dead. That's an Orianna being considered by Deft.
Yeah.
For Chovy.
The Thomas pick would have just been like conceding lane kind of, because he would have had a lot of hard times against Ashe and Morgana, of course, but Lulu having a little bit more lane presence, as well as also being a great support for your 3 big carries that you already have on your side. So we're going to see Sylas coming out here from Chovy, you would imagine.
Yep. Could, of course, be Doran, but Kennen's available, so he's going to pick that one away, and I love that. You know, you pick Kennen and pick his counter. Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Lock them both away. Does give them a lot of magic damage, as Ashe is going to be all they really have in the physical department, but Def probably pretty happy with that. It's going to have a lot of squishy targets to shoot down as Summit. Thinking about an old enemy here in Evolution. But we saw these triple AD comps yesterday actually working. You know, KT was making it look like a real thing. Smeb picking up an MVP or a POG on the Lucian top lane. Almost managed to do it in both of KT's victories. So look, maybe we're making a resurgence, and Summit is definitely good at this champion. It's just whether or not they're going to be able to survive with a big enough lead as they enter the mid game.
Yeah, I mean, those games yesterday, I don't think we would, you know, it's definitely a point that stands, but just because the caliber of the League of Legends that was being played yesterday was kind of on the lower side, I'm not sure why SANDBOX would want to take a look at those games and say, hey, that seems like a good idea, but obviously it's a very mobile kind of composition.
Wild Rip?
Yes. Yep. Very mobile.
Very
Take
mobile.
it on the road with you. I think, again, that Ninja Tabi are going to be amazing against their comp. But over here on the side of DRX, definitely a very well-balanced comp. It's another one of these kind of pile-in compositions, similar to what they had before, where it's like the Volibear jumps in, you've got a million different ways to engage, Kennen flashes in, the Sylas is hopping into your back line. Whereas on the side of SANDBOX, a lot of mobility and definitely a nice amount of scaling and huge amounts of damage in this kind of composition. But again, can be countered by a high amount of armor.
I do like the Graves for the pseudo tank with a wild growth in the front line, building up all of that grit. I do like it. But whether it's actually going to work is another question, because DRX, they have a real tank. He's a big bear. And they also have, you know, Chovy's going to be providing a lot of disruption. Definitely a far more balanced sort of team fighting composition out from DRX. SANDBOX have a lot of all-in. We need to just go and kill as many people as possible as fast as we can. As Lulu is not Bard in this instance. And I actually felt like KT relied on Bard a lot to make their composition work out. As it just takes a long time to give Deft the last hit on that particular ward. Chovy, you sneaky devil. Here on the bottom side has teleport as Carrier looking for a Dark Binding. Doesn't find it onto the SANDBOX bottom lane. It looks like Sylas just going to be walking back to the mid lane. So not successful when it comes to looking for any cheese as Peacemaker connects onto Deft. Let's see how this bottom lane does go.
Well, the Lulu is not going to be, I don't think, as good as the Bard in the lane. The Bard, you start W, you get a lot of healing that can deal with the poke you set them down so they can fully flourish into the improved amount of healing that you can get from that. Obviously, the Lulu is going to have some nice CC, more reliable CC, you know, point and click, compared to the Bard, who does require a little bit of setup if you are looking for plays like that. So, but at the same time, the Black Shield is still going to be quite good into this lane, as both of the supports pick Scorch. Not looking to scale up in this game.
It's about Biffo in the early game, and that certainly helped DRX win last time around. So I don't mind it, even if Scorch is just generally worse, no matter what happens. The amount of damage that it does get is not quite enough. As level 2 gained by SANDBOX. That minion, yeah, it's going to be blocked by his friend. It's absolutely not what you want. There's an Ashe trying to farm with volley. Denied all of those creeps. There's an absolute tilter there for Deft. As Root doesn't want to be standing on these puddles.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting to see how this lane has changed a little bit. Being pushed in the early stages is the Ashe Morgana combo. They're going to, you know, they're a little bit behind right now in CS, but they're going to be able to clear up a lot of these minions that are left over and catch up. So not too big of a deal.
Yep, Cheetah Recall comes through for Root. I believe all the information was there for DRX. Is Chovy getting taken down to 200. A lot of poke from this Azir.
Wow. Nobody on the side of SANDBOX has won with any of these champions.
Well,
not a single win.
Better late than never,
this?
Valdez.
What is going on?
Not a lot of winning. That's what's going on.
At least Gorilla hasn't lost.
Hey, that's true. I don't know what Gorilla's stats are on the Lulu. It was, of course, playing during the Lulu Ardent Sensor meta.
We had 2 games in a row with cheater recalls.
Yeah, right?
I hope LS is co-streaming right now so he can, you know, feel happy about this, because we had it in the top lane with the Aurelia in game 1.
Whoa, that's a big flash out from Doran, who gets it onto Summon as well, but that's the flash follow. Pyosik grabs that first blood from out of nowhere. Carrier flashing as well as On Fleek flashes down towards the bottom side. He is going to sacrifice himself, though, as Deft collects that kill, and Root taking so much of that charged up tower's damage. And Deft, remember, has teleport, so even if he does go back, he will be able to collect this minion wave, but it looks like he's just happy to stay here. Definitely an advantage here for DRX.
Yeah, I think it should be fine. Both of these bottom laners are relatively weak. They're going to go for it, though.
All right, Deft's going to flash. There's the flash forward from Gorilla. Peacemaker not going to connect, as Gorilla can't get there for the last auto. Hawkshot going to land. The turret plates, at least, go over to Gorilla, who somehow kills Deft. Not sure what happened there. That was very interesting. Maybe Pix went rogue and just murdered him, as Root's going to get shuriken to the face. And DRX once again are going to come out ahead.
Yeah, so a little bit of a mistake there by Deft to get caught out by the Lulu. Maybe hasn't had too much experience playing against it recently, as Deft is alone up here on the top lane. On Fleek, though, they don't have a lot of tankiness up here either, so not going to go for a dive this time around. As very interesting that he actually TP'd up to the top lane here. As we're going to take another look at this play. With the Shuriken, you can Lightning Rush and then get your Q for the 3 hits of the Lightning for the stun. And then, of course, Volibear, who is a bit slower than the Graves on the farming, is going to be looking for some ganks. As this was a nice setup, but watch how Keria saves his Q until he's about to die.
Yeah. As this was the dive we were expecting, as Deft is dead.
Huh.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure they were going to go for that one, but especially because On Fleek and Summit both don't have flash, but they were somehow able to make it work. I guess the Ashe weak enough early game for them to just burst her down.
Also level advantage, you know, things like that. Summit didn't even have to use his ulti. But I mean, this is Deft trying to get back to base as efficiently as possible. We're going to have a look at this replay once again. As Deft somehow able to survive. But what happened? What happens? How did he die? Oh, just the tip. Beautiful.
Nicely done, Gorilla.
Love your work. There was no reason for Deft to be there, though. 100% greed. Still, the trade did work out in their favor until Deft falls down top lane, at which point SANDBOX find themselves a little bit better off than they would have otherwise been. As you can see, CS now well and truly in favor of Root. Let's see whether that helps SANDBOX.
So, still no flash here up in the top side, and Kennen is level 6, so see, he is looking, well, this is not how you take the trade, Doran. I don't know what that was.
Baiting.
Yeah, well, Pyosik is level 5, so they're going to try to go ahead and 3-man it. Let Pyosik do the tanking. Actually, Toby's going to tank.
Yeah, Emperor's Divide goes wide entirely, but it doesn't seem to matter as Doran's going to get targeted down. Fate with the teleport, gets himself in there. Seems like no matter which champion Chovy is, the Emperor's Divides are still a little bit difficult today. As Fate going to clear out this minion wave. There are so many lane swaps in this game as people are taken down and other people are needed in order to clear out minion waves. As in the meantime, OnFleek's going to be able to take that Ocean Drake as the first dragon of the game. Second will be Mountain, and we have Cloud or Infernal as far as our souls are concerned. As this game goes on, Valdez, I mean, who is going to be favored as we move further into this game? Because SANDBOX are getting themselves into some better positions. They do have a very sinful composition, but we saw on KT's side that the amount of damage definitely does help you as the game goes on. Who's going to win? If we're even at like 30 minutes, who wins?
It's kind of hard to say because based on draft, I'd probably give it to the side of SANDBOX, but, you know, it is DRX. So, nice little dive there that we did see earlier on. The minion wave gets cleared very effectively by Summit, and he drags them as far under the turret as possible. As he's calling for the kill onto the Kennen, which does eventually happen as 3-on-3 here.
OnFleek lying in wait for the counter gank as now Deft is going to turn tail and run. Pyosik with a decent stun, great Dark Binding. Will connect. Pyosik ults his way out of there. Deft at level 6, doesn't have the arrow anymore, of course, as Fate. It's now his turn, but Chovy's here as well. Emperor's Divide pushes the bear back in. OnFleek will be taken down. As Ace in the Hole comes in, Kerry's going to block it there for Deft, and it's a 1-for-1. In the end, both junglers to be taken down. Chovy turns up, but a little bit late to this party. Wild Growth connects, and all right, there's the Abduct. Gets the knock up as well as Fate. Going to get completely obliterated, but is going to flash his way to safety. Doran with his Slicing Maelstrom. Summit has been lit on fire. The culling comes in. Oh, the last tick of the Ignite, not enough, but the flash. And the auto gives it to the Kennen, and that's a solo kill for Doran on the top side of the map.
Yeah, just straight up, and that's the power of the Unsealed Spellbook, of course, switching over to the Ignite right before he goes for the fight as, let's see, looks like OnFleek just going to come up here. He's 3 levels down. He's just going to take the CS, so not going to take the fight, but all of a sudden, Kennen 3-1 in this game. Yeah, even though he looked a little bit silly going down after the dive, still having a fun time. As we're going to take a look at the bottom lane here once again. It looks like they don't have any idea that OnFleek is
that
here.
cleanse was stunning out of Root.
Yeah, it was perfect. And even so, you could see that, I don't know, I think that DRX might have just been able to turn it around anyway, but still taking the safe route. Fate comes down. He's also hiding in the same brush as gets smoked down by the Volibear, as that does a surprising amount of damage, even to the Graves, as here's this fight up here. You can see Doran is even hesitating a little bit. He's like, oh, I don't know. But with the dash down and a very squishy Lucian at this point in time, he does have the damage to just go over, use both summoners, and take him down.
Yeah, I liked getting 2 stacks on the Mark of the Storm to make sure that Slicing Maelstrom got as many ticks of damage as possible before Summit could get out of the way. As I've seen this movie before. This time, Kerry is going to be there to defend. No Slicing Maelstrom available, but that is just a very dead Graves.
God.
Oh dear, that's a whoopsie.
Did they not see the Morgana? I mean, even then, it's like he's just kind of walking by the Kennen. That's giving him so much free damage.
Well, Pyosik's got a black shield, and that means that he's not going to be CC'd by that Emperor's Divide. Fate's going to fall down. Carrier flashes. He's having a real good day. Your boy on the bottom side of the map, Valdez, certainly looking good as the culling not going to be stopped. The Wild Growth just waited for Gorilla toying with DRX right here. The ulti comes out. It's an angry bear. And Gorilla will be punished for his insubordination. And another Dark Binding comes in. Just write it down. I think Kerry is getting the pog this time as the Chain Lash connects onto Summit. He was already slowed and he will be taken out. And DRX find another one of their miraculous mid-games. And they look, all of a sudden, very, very good.
Yeah, and you can see that the way their comp has been drafted, it really is that pile-on comp. You get one pick, you jump on in, you get another, you get another. So many bindings and arrows and chains that come in from Chovy. Obviously, Polar Bear that's running straight forward. You get one, and it's so hard to stop the snowball in the fight for SANDBOX after they just try to save one person. As here we go.
Yeah, Doran just trying to stand his ground here and decides that he's going to kill Summit. Going to do it. Solo kill 1v2, by the way, as the second one comes in. The Bear collects that. As Deft, he was just getting turret plates. That's the most important thing.
What is this? TP behind the fight.
Don't worry, Doran, you got this 1v2. I'm just going to take these plates of yours that you set up for me.
Oh, we're having more
teleport
fighting.
Bottom lane, exactly. Doran doesn't have his ulti, but he's got a hell of a lot of damage as he's ignited, turned into a squirrel, and now just stacked up with all of this damage. Chovy and Carrier will turn up as Emperor's Divide collected there by Chovy, not actually having to use it just yet. As the Mountain Drake available, but not considered for the minute. As Deft, yeah, he's not going to take these last couple of plates. Otherwise, he's a happy boy.
And this is just blown wide open. And this is what can happen when you have a relatively squishy lineup as well. When you are going up against a better team that has one of these kind of roll you over compositions, is that Doran all of a sudden out of nowhere is just incredibly fed. He's now got this proto build. He didn't even have it before. Lucian he's down 2 levels. He's down 2 levels. Graves is down 3.
Yeah.
Okay? They can't do enough damage against this guy that has the arm guard already stacked up and some extra health on top of it. It's like he's way too tanky at level 10.
Oh, there's the bind. Chovy does have an Emperor's Divide. He's going to nail that one. That's all too easy. And Carrier gets a well-deserved kill. It's Morgana and Kennen, man. Both Doran and Carrier having just an extraordinary game.
Yeah, I'm actually having some trouble thinking about, I kind of want to give it to Carrier, but at the same time, I'm like, man, Pjosic and Doran actually had some good games as well.
I mean, Doran got back-to-back solo kills, one of them in a 1v2, so maybe he just gets it automatically, and now he's looking for another one. That's 3 solo kills in the one game.
Yeah. Well, at this point, it's like he's just rolling over. And also, it was kind of just SANDBOX running into him, right? But it was still a great play, right? To say, oh, I'm strong enough, and to realize that, hey, I can take this fight. So he definitely does deserve some recognition, which is part of the problem I'm having here, Atlas.
I know, it's a conundrum. But I don't think you're wrong in either decision, Valdez. I think it's absolutely fine. And we'll just have to see how the rest of the game goes. Keep tallying it in your mind as the super plays continue. This being one of them. Carrier, I mean, it's a pretty cookie-cutter play, but still looks pretty sweet.
Yeah, and again, 2 levels down. Summit's like, yeah, I should be okay. But the second the Q lands, he's like, no, you're dead.
Yeah.
Gets the stun, there's the second Q.
I love how Doran's been utilizing his Slicing Maelstroms. Always. 2 Marks of the Storm press R. Every time. Just does way more damage. Oh, the interruption was beautiful. Chovy's going to land the abduct. Has he switched on? I think he may have. It might be a little bit late to have any relevance in the series, but it's still good to see the super plays out of Chovy. And DRX continue to eradicate the jungle of anything that belongs to SANDBOX. And there's 6,000 gold plus in the lead. Mountain Drake still available, but forgotten, as DRX just want to be able to take down turrets and open this map wide open.
Yeah, this one has, it's turned from a snowball into an avalanche at this point. I have no idea what Gorilla.
Goodbye, Gorilla!
I have no idea.
Sometimes you think you're safe underneath the turret, but there's a volley there. And he's going to ohm wreck this turret. Fate teleports towards it. I don't know whether he necessarily wants to, as Chovy shoots him with his Super Soaker. Now Deft finally gives this dragon some attention. He was sleeping for quite some time. Kyoshi going to turn up there as well. Brings the storm.
Yep. This one is, looks like it's kind of in the bag here, Atlas. As here we go again.
Yep, there's another pick underneath this turret. Oh my god, the 1-2 punch is just revolting. Kennen's, by the way, killed the Graves again. What? Doran is like an entire team by himself right now as Gorilla. He's going to turn up. Is it going to be enough to kill the cannon? Oh, that was tickling his backside a little bit on his way out there, but Doran even had a barrier at the ready. He wasn't dying. 7-1-4 now.
Yeah. I don't know. I almost want to take. I almost want to give it to him just because he's just killing them over and over again as well.
We haven't really seen like that many absolute alpha top lane performances from Doran as well, and this is definitely a big one.
Take a look at this.
Players.
Chovy waits, and Fate actually fails it. So the stun doesn't come in from Chovy until
really?
after. Yeah, it was Fate missing.
Or was Chovy, did he manage to put his body in front or something like that? I don't know. That looked really strange.
Yeah, it was just a little bit of a whoopsie there.
Damn it. It seemed like a Chovy super play, but actually it was
yeah, I mean, he still did the Silas thing where you chain over the wall.
Yeah, right. That was cool.
Azir is so sad against Silas, actually. We saw this yesterday. Cal
I know.
Was the saddest Azir of all time.
He was. There's been some sad Azirs over the last couple of days, actually.
Yeah. Azir is very interesting. I feel like a lot of people are realizing that actually we can shut it down, which, of course, is not very good news for BDD, who is a big Azir player plus a Zoe player.
I think it depends on the Azir and what you use him for as well, because one thing that Azir will always do is provide lane control in the early game, right? You can always shove minion waves into your opponent, and so if you have early game junglers and things like that, it's sort of Azir is more of a function rather than a solution. Is what?
What?
Death? Hello? Yeah, that's a thumbs up.
Yeah,
absolutely. Pyoshik's like, yeah, nailed it. Beautiful stuff. Is the yellow bear this time around. That binding's going to connect. As Chovy's got another Empress Divide. We'll see how it uses it this time, as Shirley's going to cram her head into the top inhibitor turret and does a lot of damage to that also. I mean, Baron hasn't even spawned yet, and I was about to bring it up. I'm like, DRX can go and do Baron whenever they want. Well, no, they can't. They need to wait another minute and a half before that's an option, as Gorilla is so squishy, and I think, oh no! Keria doesn't find the puddle until a little bit too late as Pyoshik dives on in and takes down the Lulu. OnFleek tries to keep himself alive as Pyoshik turns off the turret. He's not dying to it today as Summit's dead. And Doran is looking for Root, and yeah, he's real dead.
20-minute game?
Yeah, I mean, why is Doran... He's so tanky as well. He's level 14! Oh my god. As they're just tanking this turret, they don't care at all. Chovy's going to take down the top inhibitor one. And yeah, I mean, this is something that should be happening at 35 minutes, not 19.
Well then, yeah.
Break it down for me, Valdez.
There is some high-level analysis to be had as Keria just makes Gorilla's life a living nightmare as those 1-2 bindings. Here's the third one.
Oh no.
Forced to use Wild Growth on himself. He was dead anyway. As the flash comes in, and they just pile on once again. And you can see Summit here. He's like, well, I'm not just going to run away. There's, you know, we're just going to lose if I run away. Maybe I can pull off some kind of crazy super play. Doran able to clean up there towards the end. And
turret shot did like 0.5% of his health bar as Cannon.
He's a big boy.
He's a real big boy. He's got a couple of health items and an armor item as OnFleek. Oh, that was a nice stutter step. Avoiding the Dark Binding there from Keria. Yeah. Now the Baron spawned. As OnFleek is probably dead. No, Binding is going to miss. And DRX not going to go overly aggressive. Summit, he has different things on his mind though, as Keria going to get swept aside and destroyed. Pyoshik's not going to be able to avenge his support at this point in time. Chovy, I believe, on vision. As OnFleek is going to be there to meet him. Collateral damage picked up by Chovy. Chain Lash not going to connect, but that one will. It's a whole lot of damage. Wild Growth onto Root not going to be nearly enough as the Slashing Maelstrom is utterly terrifying out of this uber-fed cannon. And I mean, with another couple of kills, I think this is just the game. As yep, Summit is super dead.
They're just farming them at this point. I mean,
yeah.
Nice little thumbs up again. Doran just saying hello. Yeah, 1-8 and 1-7 are top in jungle. But yeah, I mean, it's only really Fate that did much in this game, unfortunately. Everybody else kind of just got dumpstered.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're just going to take the whole map, see how far they can farm their KDAs in this one would be the goal, I would imagine, for DRX.
Yep, so far you've got Doran looking pretty good, sitting at 10-1-5 on the cannon. But it's only 15 out of 26 of the kills for DRX as far as kill participation. As we have a look at the replay, Carrier died. Congratulations to SANDBOX. And the Silas comes on in. And yeah, this is where, like, 4 level advantage and, of course, collateral damage from a Silas is going to do so much work. Oh, man. You got the Lightning Bear, the Lightning Rat. What? Summit's really.
He could have just hit the blast cone. Or he was like torn in between, do I dash the wall or do I blast cone? And then he ended up doing neither. So
how relevant is it? I guess,
yeah, not much. Not much in this game. This is just pain and suffering for SANDBOX. Not much they can do. I mean, they're down 13,000 golds plus
at 22.5 minutes.
Yeah, this does look a little bit like a solo queue result.
Carey just really wants to blast cone his way over. He's going to, as he follows his Dark Binding. And bouncy castle. Kyoshik nails it that time. Able to save Carrier there for the minute. As over the wall goes Chovy. He's got his own wild growth. He's going to use it on himself, but does have to flash as the Lucian's dead again. Doran is once more diving turrets against 2 people as Cannon. As, yeah, the Valdanalist is going to allocate that player of the game over to the solo-killing Cannon machine.
He just did too much in this game.
Yeah.
Too much action on the top side as he over and over killed people, so it's hard not to give it to him.
Yep, even the greatest Carrier fan in the universe unable to justify it this time around, and I think I would certainly agree. Yeah, it's great to see Doran performing, though. He was the biggest question mark for DRX, I think, as they've been moving through the summer split. So having him perform certainly ups their chances a little bit. Some lower health bars here on DRX, but they have heavy wallets. We'll see whether this flanking teleport's going to work out. Scryer's Bloom gives Summit's position away, and it's a flanking Lucian. You know, it's not exact. You know, he doesn't really do anything when he does flank.
3 levels behind Chovy, 4 levels behind Doran.
Yeah,
you're not gonna do anything on flanking Lucian.
So here's the 1v2 solo kill. Doran starts off with missing the Q, almost kills them both at the same time, and I believe still had stopwatch.
Didn't get both.
No, he didn't. Didn't have stopwatch. We're going to take it back. The fact that he almost killed both of them, yeah, it just makes it even more impressive. 2 minutes to go now on the next Infernal Drake, but it's not exactly relevant information. Chovy teleports towards the top side. They're looking for this last remaining inhibitor. Baron's still got another 3 seconds. So now it's going to wear off, so maybe a little bit of respite given. Over to SANDBOX, but Root does like no damage. The arrow is going to connect, but Root's going to cleanse it immediately. On Fleek should be dead, but no. Going to get out of the way as Doran with a black shield is a very, very scary Pikachu. Okay, now DRX.
Here we go.
The minion wave. This is going to be the last inhibitor. And is there another fight in SANDBOX? They have everyone alive. They have no cleanse on their Caitlyn, but they do have flash.
It's going to be another fight, but it won't be consensual.
Yeah.
That's the, you know, they're going to try, I suppose.
No, I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, in this case, they have no choice but to try to
Dark
defend,
Binding.
but it's not going to go well.
Yeah, they're just going to clear out all of the minions as they head towards these Nexus turrets. Kyoshik, he's getting much better at that, isn't he? That's 2 he's blocked in a row. Very, very nicely done.
They're actually backing away.
I'm not sure. That, the Volibear skin, it's like either like overweight Blanca from Street Fighter, or it's a Rajang, which is from Monster Hunter.
Okay.
You haven't played that one. You didn't play with Wolf and I when we were playing. But looks like one of those. As Fate's going to Empress Divide Doran to try and get him out of the way. Maybe he bit off more than he can chew, as he runs pretty quick. And he is going to escape. God, he's fast.
Fate's angry.
Yeah. I believe that was, yeah, Nimbus Cloak after the flash. Just, he was boosted. Fate is angry, but he's so angry he used all his mana on being angry.
Picked up a hat.
Yeah, that matches Doran's cool hat. But like 1, 9, and 2 for the top lane Lucian. It's funny, right? Because actually, That's how Lucian has to be. He's either 9-1-2 or he's 1-9-2.
Yeah, pretty much.
That Corgi was adorable.
Not a big fan of the of the top Lucian.
Well, Root is real dead as there's the slicing Maelstrom. The bear took the first kill, so it can't be a penta for Doran, but he deserves one. He's had a hell of a game. Fate sitting on his fountain wondering what the heck he's supposed to do at this point in time. He tried as hard as he could, but it didn't work out. He'll kill the Morgana, as depth is also very, very low, but I have a feeling that this game is well and truly over. Doran even escapes. That's going to guarantee player of the game as the Nexus falls down at 2-0 for DRX up against SANDBOX, and a much better performance in Game 2.
Yep, absolutely. Definitely a little bit more of what we were expecting of DRX up against SANDBOX, as they are able to come in here and shut them down quickly in a 2-0. CV Max looking much happier after this game, as it was not very close. And yeah, really not much else to say about this one. Will we get the celebration out of Pyosik is the only question I have.
Oh, that's true. I actually have a feeling that Doran should probably be the one celebrating, as Yamato just trying to console his players here, as you can see on Fleek. Not looking too down in the dumps. I think they knew that up against DRX it was definitely going to be an uphill battle. And I think, you know, SANDBOX, after the absolutely horrible start to the season that they have come back stronger, and I don't think anyone was really expecting them to make it into the playoffs. But let's see whether they can tidy up their play and end on a good note when it comes to this particular season, because I have a feeling that now it's going to be nigh on impossible for them to get into playoffs. As, yeah, we're asking Pyosik. We're seeing whether he's got another one.
What's it going to be? How was that?
That was his collateral damage. He was using his keyboard as a Tommy gun.
Yeah.
Oh, that was very cool. All right, I think
Nice.
that's my favorite so far.
So we have Trundle. I think we have Volibear.
We have Trundle, Lee Sin,
Lucian.
Graves now, definitely. Oh, was he doing? Oh, right,
Didn't he do
yeah.
Lucian the one time with the...
What, the
was
visor?
that Lucian? Yeah.
No. Who was that? Who's the? No, that's another Lee Sin move, because he goes blind by putting...
No, but he was like shooting a gun while doing it. The first one he did, where he put down the headset and it was like the...
But what? Yeah, no, but he put down the headset to be Lee Sin.
No, he did that again for Lee Sin.
Oh, right.
I think
Why
he
would
did
he
it
do
twice.
Lucian? Because he doesn't play Lucian.
Yeah, I don't know. That's why I'm a little bit confused.
I think we're all confused.
Maybe it was Lee Sin, but he had a gun.
Ah, that would be a pretty OP Lee Sin. Maybe that's one that LS would be okay with.
Maybe in League of Legends too.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe that's
The evolved version.
the first new champion on Wild
Yeah.
Rift that we were talking about earlier on. This game was not very close.
No.
Neither was
No,
the
it
first
wasn't.
one, but it was at least longer. This was DRX tidying up their play. It was once again Graves suffering extraordinarily, and this was the biggest cannon that we've ever seen in our lives. And Doran's always been good at the cannon, but damn, this was a schooling. As Gorilla, give it the slow-mo there.
Should have given him the Pog vote. I regret it. Give it over to... No, to Deft.
Oh, really? For getting hit by that?
For his map presence. For being everywhere at all times. Doran just... Oh, he just... It's like he couldn't help but get kills. And we actually skipped over a lot of his kills in the replays here, which is kind of interesting. Didn't get the 1v2 solo.
I hope the carrier at least gets a vote or two. He played really well. I can't believe he hasn't played Morgana until now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Today's first day on the pick.
Played it twice, so unfortunately he didn't hit the 20 unique champions today.
Those 2 ticks of Doran's ultimate to get like 70% of Root's health buff. Oh, man.
Chovy, interestingly enough, didn't have the most pop-off day. Like, he started popping off once he got a little bit fed. Like,
yeah, it was when this game was over.
Yeah, halfway through the game where it's like, oh, okay, right? Watch Summit, he's like, oh, do I take the blast cone or do I dash? The bear got on top of him, so he wanted to dash, but then he failed to dash, so... Looked a little bit sad from him, as Doran didn't pick up both kills, but he still was able to pick up one, at least, underneath the turret 1v2.
Yeah, certainly keeps that player of the game up for grabs, right? Because this game wasn't all about the cannon damage, was it? Good lord. Doran was the biggest he has ever been here in the LCK. Doing the most damage as well, and you can see that bulbous gold graph. Showing that DRX certainly were playing with their food for a little bit towards the end there with their, 14,000 gold lead that they did have. But still, 27 minutes is it's no long game, and we are still going to have a pretty decent break.
Oh yeah, I mean,
today?
Probably going to be about an hour after we do get to the interview, of course.
Morgana out-damaged Graves as well.
By a lot, actually, by like over 2,000 damage, which is
It's
a
the
lot for a
Scorch.
support.
I think it's the Scorch.
Must be.
Get it. Yeah, that extra 20 damage really does start to stack up. It
Great.
doesn't, guys. Don't take that Keystone. If your game's going to go over 30 minutes, then it's just not there.
If you're going to take it on a ranged support champion.
Yeah, that's
Right.
true.
That
A
would
ranged
be-
support champion that relies on winning in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you're good. Because if you haven't won by then, it's stupid anyway. So
Yeah.
that's fine. So a bit of a PSA. That was definitely fast. We'll see whether Damwon are going to be able to show us some quicker games, as this is the most obvious player of the game that we've seen. 820 damage per minute on Cannon, a Cannon that wasn't really team fighting. Like he was team fighting, but he was the team, like by himself.
5 solo kills in the game.
Solo kills.
He may have up to solo kill ranking here.
I'd
Just
say
a little
so.
bit.
Thank you, Valdanalist.
Yeah.
For the statistics.
Now we get to see all the highlights here. This is a good one because a lesser Kennen might have said, well, maybe I should continue running. My Lightning Rush might come off cooldown soon, but he turned it around.
It's like we were watching Detective Pikachu, and henchmen kept coming after him with guns.
Yeah.
And Pikachu would just electrocute him. Oh, he did fail to dash. Yeah, it's the first time that I saw that. I wasn't really paying too much attention. To be perfectly honest, it was 7 out of 12 and 5 votes went to support. The perfect distribution. I love it. Absolutely fantastic.
So the
everyone's on
Valdana
point.
Swinger.
Yeah, Valdal Swinger.
Valdana
Actually,
Swinger.
You might have been the swinger in one way or another. It depends on where, the decider votes went. Because otherwise it would have been that 6 out of 6. But we
Would have been 6 and 6 if I voted for Carrier.
Yeah, exactly. So we would have been waiting to see where the observer votes were and all that sort of weird shenanigans that comes in. Because for some reason we decided to do an even distribution. But let's go over to the interview. So here's Jason.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Jason with the Universe Translation, and let's hear from Daph Doran on the side of DRX, taking down SANDBOX 2-0. Congratulations on the win. Daph, how do you feel right now? Well, today's series, we had to play in a new patch for the first time. So we wanted to kind of figure out whether our tier list and some of the drafts were correct. And I'm happy that we were able to get a good result. I'm really proud of our process. What about you, Doran? I'm happy that we won. We got 5 solo kills in game number 2. We were literally dominating in that game. So you guys picked up the 13th victory of the split, coming back on top of the LCK. And today you guys were letting the Caitlyn through the pick and ban and keep picking Ash Morgana comp into Caitlyn. Yeah, I think that is the new matchup coming in this patch, so we were trying to figure out. And we also thought of playing Caitlyn on my side as well, but the opponents were keeping taking it away from me, so I was just sticking to Ash. In addition to that, Bard is one of the S tier champion currently, but you guys were sticking to Morgana. As for Morgana, well, this champion has a very strong CC, so it kind of gives me more space to my rune choice, and also Carrier is also really good at landing its Q skill. Doran, what was the reason for your Irelia pick?
요즘 1엘리아가 좀
In this meta?
각이 나오면 좀
Well,
템포가 좋아진
the
것
champion got
같아서
buffed a little bit, so
제이스 카운터로
I think we
알고
can
있어서 한번 해봤습니다.
play it as a counter for Jace. Do you kind of feel that this got buffed a lot? I don't really think so. I can't
잘
really
모르겠어요.
tell,
체감은 잘 모르겠어요.
to be honest.
딱히 없으니까.
네. 전체적으로는 우연히 픽을 했지만 다 좋은 결과가
I guess, well, DRX was still on the process to getting their tier list done. Now let's take a look at the highlight where Ash level 6 timing came in clutch.
드래곤 칠때 애쉬와 케이틀린
When you guys were trying that Dragon, Ash was ahead of XP and item compared to Caitlyn. Was that all set up based on your rune choice? And the lane manipulation?
아폰이 이런 식으로 질문하니까 좀
Some of the cute moments from the formal teammates Pawn and Theft. But for the Dragon fight, I mean, we did plan for some setups, but not in that much of a detail. But we knew that we were having a bigger power spike at that point. But SANDBOX decided to take that fight, so we were able to get the better result in the end. How do you feel seeing Pawn here at the analyst desk? Looks nice.
이것도 참 재밌는 것 같고 그 아까 말씀해주신 모르가나랑 연결되는 게 이제
Well, speaking of Morgana,
약간 강제되고
well, with the comp you guys take in the bottom lane, well, the opponents were forced to take cleanse. In terms of the spell choice, well, Caitlyn, if the player is confident, well, he can also answer with TP and they can just wait till the support get the Mikhail done and dodge all the skills. But today he chose to go for cleanse, so I was able to outlevel him.
그것 때문에 사실 그 초반에 벌린 격차를 계속 유지했었던
Well, thanks to that, DRX was able to accelerate the lead in a very early phase. However, the game got extended a little bit. What was the reason? What went wrong for DRX to close out the game?
전령을 저희가 먹을 수 있어서 막
We could take the Herald, but due to our mistakes,
못한 부분이 있어서
I especially underperformed, so we couldn't take that Herald.
끝나자마자 바로 들어오고.
And yeah, I mean, CBMX went really hard about that mistake after the game.
그리고 계속해서 좀 아무래도 저희가 오랜만에 또 인터뷰하고 이런 게 있다 보니까 궁금한 게 많은데
We have another question.
선수가 데프트 선수랑 붙어 있는 그 듀오 인정률
So, Carrier's dual proximity stats have changed compared to the spring split. So did Carrier kind of change his playstyle, like staying in lane a little bit more with you? He was on 8th in the spring split, now he's on 2nd. The biggest reason is that we went for picks that doesn't really have a priority during the laning phase, so he had to just roam around when we were having some downtime. I guess that includes some of the picks that DRX used, something like Zaya and Rakan. Now let's move on to game 2. Doran and Pyusik, you guys are hard carrying this game. How was your matchup up against Summit on the top lane today?
휴식 선수가
Well, today Pyusik
볼리베어를
on Volibear, he did really well.
탑갱 와가지고
He ganked top, and he helped me out a lot, so I was able to get boosted a little bit. And Pyusik said the Doran Pyusik compensation is real. Like one player plays well, and then the partner plays really bad. And Pyusik admitted that it's true. What do you think, Doran?
오늘 같은 날에는
For today,
인정하는
I kind of admit it.
그러면 그 오늘 뭐 서밋 선수 상대한다는 이야기
You are playing up against Summit today, and I want to ask you about Doran, your
관심을 가지면서 이런저런 또 평가도 프로 선수다 보니까 자연스럽게 하고 있는데
aspects here as a pro player.
잘하고 강한 날에는
Some
더
fans
잘하고
are saying that whenever you're going up against a very strong opponent, you become even stronger. But whenever you're playing up against some of the weaker player, your performance kind of goes down.
프레임이라 생각하는데
I think people are just framing it.
열심히 좀다 강자라고 생각하고
I always think that the opponents are strong.
안 되는 날
That's the mindset that I bring for games. But sometimes I just have some bad days.
이 경기에서는 루시안을 상대로 어떤 어떠셨는지 궁금해요.
So what was your
정말
plan
많이 하셨거든요.
in going up against Lucian? Because you got a lot of solo kills in that game.
루시안이 캐넨 카운터로
Lucian
알려지긴 했는데
is known to be the
캐넨이
counter
한번
pick
무조건 잡으면 또
for
루시안이
Kennen, but as Kennen gets priority and control over the lane,
킬각이 나오는
actually
구도라
Kennen can be the one getting the solo kill.
한번 잘 풀려서
So,
계속 좀
if you manage to find the
표식이 도와줘서
breakthrough during the laning phase, actually Kennen can also have a decent game. So you had the most solo kill for a game today. 5 solo kills in this game. So congratulations.
그 데프트 선수. 네,
And Pawn has another question over to Deft.
So
you played Ash for 2 games in a row and played the Ruin King. Luna's Hurricane are the typical build for Ash, but you went for the Essence Reaver and a very different itemization. When Ash was in the meta, I believe Essence Reaver was really good. And I think, yeah, that's better for Ash.
왜냐면 데프트가 한마디 하면 그게 거의 뭐 솔랭 원딜 표준 약간
I mean,
이런 느낌이 되는 게
As soon as Deft gives some guideline for the item build for AD carry champions, that's gonna be the rule for the solo queue. So that's gonna be a great tip for the solo queue players. And the first place competition is still going on, so you have to keep winning all the remaining series, and your next opponent will be Hana Life Esports. Recently, Hana Life, they have been stepping up, so we won't let our guards down. And well, I mean, I know that we cannot decide the destiny of the first place by ourselves, but we will keep trying our best. And Doran, once again, congratulations on getting the most solo kills in a game. So, any message for your fans?
너구리 선수가
네.
Nuguri
지금 다음 경기에 담원이라서
will be playing in the next game.
이번 두 번째 경기 봤을 것 같아요.
I guess he was watching this game at the green room, so I hope he thinks that I'm a good player.
다음 경기가 담원인 거예요.
Because I mean, I was looking at the schedule and saw Damwon was playing next match, so I was like, oh, Nuguri might be watching this. So yeah, I was kind of caring so much about it, the fact that Nuguri is watching me playing.
너구리가 받으면 너구리 아니면 아니더라도 따로 한번 감탄인지 물어보고 나중에
So
얘기해 줄게요.
yeah, maybe if we get a chance, we will ask Nuguri about his impression of Doran's performance in this game. So this will be the end of the interview with Deft Doran from DRX taking down SANDBOX Gaming 2-0.
네, 이번 승리로 DRX는 가장 먼저 13승
So with this victory, DRX picked up the 13th victory of the split.
Hi. Welcome back. We were a little bit muted.
What?
There are the standings. That was slightly uncomfortable. But we apparently just...
Thanks, G-Sun.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Jason. Actually, that was some fantastic translation. It was great to hear a little bit more animation out of Doran. His fandom for Noguri was interesting. But we'll see whether Noguri is going to come in and let us know.
T1. They clinched playoffs after this game, which is quite interesting.
No, I think they were clinched already. Yeah.
Were they?
Coming into today, they were still confirmed into playoffs. It's only 5th spot that was available. But still, they have still clinched it.
Okay.
They have still clinched them. I don't know what that means for the bottom of the standings. Was focused on the top, so we'll have to go back and check things out, do some math. But our next match is going to be one that's probably not going to change the standings too much. First place, Damwon Gaming up against Solo One Prince, who are certainly occupying the dregs of the LCK at the moment. We'll just have to see whether or not Damwon can show us something more exciting. Maybe they'll have a for fun series. We'll see you in about an hour, guys, for match number 2.